Sweet. You like that?
I can do the beat on the drums.
I programmed the
Grappling
drums.
With podcast.
I could
Dr.
do a live
Chris Hardy
version
and
next
William
time.
Walker will
Yeah.
take a deep dive
I mean,
into
this is a
topics
pretty
covering
easy beat.
wellness and prevention,
I played drums a little
performance,
bit.
recovery, and
So.
injury management.
You
Our
didn't tell me
mission is
that.
to provide the latest science-based
We can jam.
information to help you get the most out of your grappling journey, both on and off the mats, and help you overcome any challenges
the
you may
guitar.
be grappling with. Dr.
drums
Hardy is a
part.
licensed
No, I
physician
play.
and
No, I know,
BJJ
that's what I'm
practitioner,
saying. So
but the
that's
contents of the
guitar part
podcast
is
are meant
hard.
for
Why are you
educational
arguing with me?
purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Please seek out personalized care from your own medical provider prior to implementing any medical treatment or intervention.
Hello there. Welcome,
Howdy.
Nikita.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, well, we thought it'd be good to have you here. Bill is sitting on the sidelines being weird, but, you know, that's what he
Putting
usually
us on the
does.
spot.
Yeah, it's okay. No, he's actually putting me on the spot to make me carry this because he usually carries this show.
Yeah. And I'm not the person to carry this 100%. So I'll.
Well, actually, you're actually our resident jiu-jitsu nerd, so I think you're very appropriate for this because we're going to do a little ADCC recap because you guys all went down there. I was going to go, but I had the pestilence. I had something really bad, and I couldn't. I was very upset, but I did watch it on Flow. So, but I want to hear.
Bill was happy that you were not there. The entire trip, he was just saying.
He was like,
that,
"Thank gosh, dude." Well, I can understand. It's kind of like having, it's like having a toddler, but the reverse, right? Yeah, going to Vegas, like Bill said, going to Vegas with your grandpa is no fun.
Yeah, because he was a wild guy. I don't know.
That kills the vibe, right? But since you guys went, what I want to talk about today is, of course, everyone knows the results and looked at it. We'll get your take on it, but I also want to get some of your takeaways from just being there at that kind of event and what you took away from it personally too. Before we start, if you don't mind, I actually got Bill got me a cool ADCC T-shirt, like a consolation prize. Bill and Olivia did. Super cool. Yep.
The same but white.
Yep. So I actually had. I didn't know he was getting me this, but I got him a present too. So Bill, I'm gonna have you on camera just for a minute. So Bill got really into the last episode with Carrie. So I got him a coffee cup.
Oh my gosh.
It's the Bristol stool chart. And not only does it have pictures, but it has little personality traits associated with each one, which isn't scientific. It's just funny.
Oh. So, if I could read the first.
You please do. Please read the first one.
So, type 1 is separate hard lumps like nuts, often hard to pass. I mean, that's me.
Hard to pass.
Also called rabbit droppings. 0 wipes the perfect poop. Okay, so I don't know.
Oh no, that ain't focused at all.
No.
How about that?
Still not focused.
How about that?
It's still not focused. It's so blurry.
How about this one?
That's better, but it's
It's going to be rough.
tiny.
Well, just it has.
This gave me a shitty cup, and
You know
my
what?
favorite cup.
I got to tell you this though. They had a version that was out of stock that actually had a fake poop smear down one side.
Oh my god.
on the not the outside.
So watery, no solid pieces, entirely liquid. Some call it gravy. 10 plus wipes. Just take a shower.
That's what it says. I thought you'd dig it, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So anyway, yeah, I mean, Bill's that kind of friend. So anyway,
Deserves it.
yeah. So you guys got down. I know you went down there early. You got some. Did you do some training before?
So yeah, I came on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Just because my parents live there, and then I wanted to celebrate my wife's birthday a little bit over there. But then I didn't do any training before Bill came.
Okay.
Bill and Olivia, they arrived on Wednesday, and then we met up on Thursday. No, we met up on Wednesday.
Yeah, we did.
You dropped us off at a gym on Wednesday.
Yeah, methods.
At Method, yeah. So I dropped them off at the gym. They trained the same gym Brian trained with Mikey Musumeci and Roberto Jimenez during the Master Worlds. But then on Thursday, on a day of my wife's birthday, we went to train in Carson Gracie Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is we went to another location where they had only 3 people. And I was like, okay, let's just drive extra 20 minutes and be late to Henderson location. And guess who we saw over there? Owen Livesey,
Who is competing?
who was competing there. So yeah, and Bill almost dominated the guy on the feet. No joke.
Tell him about how your hand was shaking when you noticed his name on the waiver.
Oh, so the funny thing is we had to sign a waiver, and then the guy's like, yeah, just put it right here. And I'm putting, and I see Owen Livesey on the waiver. I was like, is it a joke? And then I raised my head, and I see him on the mats, and I was like, Bill, look at this guy.
You can't miss that guy. His legs
You
like
can't.
tree trunks,
Yeah,
man.
he's huge.
You couldn't write your name.
I couldn't, yeah.
His hand was shaking. So
The whole paper was just wet. I had to toss it.
That's unfortunate.
But it was a good training session. I had to sit out a few rounds because I ate a nice breakfast before that, so I almost died during even warm-ups.
And let me get, this was on your wife's birthday?
Yes.
We made a deal, so
You typically, how old are you?
30.
Okay. You typically don't make deals on your wife's birthday. It's pretty much anyway. So
Well,
you'll learn eventually.
yeah.
That's okay. But you have a very cool wife, though.
Yeah,
So.
we're still married, so
Yeah.
happily.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was a cool experience, and then and then after that on Friday we went down to a meet and greet type of thing, press conference, bracket reveal, and then all of a sudden when we were walking around at the floor level right next to the stage, we ended up seeing a bunch of people from there.
I saw the photos.
Yeah, a lot of photos.
You were sitting in John Danaher's lap, right?
Not me, it was Bill.
Oh, okay.
He actually, we almost had an accident because Bill almost killed John Danaher, not by sitting on his laps, but make him laugh. John Danaher never laughs, and then he laughed like he never laughed before. He almost like little bent over, almost fell off his chair, and we had to like be like, John, are you
You got to
okay?"
tell me, well, what provoked that?
He just said, "Can I sit on your lap?"
Oh, Bill said that?
Yeah, and John Danaher just died laughing. So
Well, it is awkward.
yeah, but we saw Gordon Ryan, saw some few other folks.
Gabby Garcia.
Gabby Garcia
Tell him about that.
was huge. What exactly?
The Justin Wren.
So you know Justin Wren?
Fight for the Forgotten?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was walking, facing back to us. So we expected fighters to come down to the floor, and then me, Bill, my wife, and then Olivia's like, "Oh, that's Gabby Garcia. Yeah, that's Gabby Garcia. Let's go take a picture."
Oh.
And then he turns around, and we see just Justin Wren, like with a beard and everything. And I was like, "Oh no, that's not Gabby Garcia."
You guys are so wrong.
It was so funny.
It would be more funny if we yelled "Gabby," and then he turned around and.
We literally legit thought it was Gabby.
You'd be like, wow, you should grow some facial hair.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. No, not about facial hair.
She is quite the athlete, man.
So they ended up, I think, Andrew took picture with Gabby Garcia, Amy, Brittany, my wife, and you see, like, it's not just like whatever she's doing to be that big. Her frame in general is big.
Yeah.
Like her face is twice as bigger as my wife's face. So that was insane to see.
Yeah, those are super athletes,
Yeah,
man.
she's a crazy human being.
It's
100%.
it's just amazing. Did you walking around? Everyone pretty cool there and pretty chill.
Everyone was super cool. A lot of them, you could see they were out of their element because all of a sudden overnight they entered this place where they're absolutely famous. And usually only people who are a fan of jiu-jitsu come to this kind of events. So everyone they tried to take pictures with them. Like you could see Jacob Couch. He just walked down and he's not even competing there. And everyone's like, "Oh, Jacob, hi, can we take a picture with you?" And he was cool with that. But then you see 20 minutes later, he was thankful when Gordon Ryan came down because everyone just booked towards Gordon. So, but yeah, that was cool to see. Everyone was pretty cool. I like how when we approached Giancarlo Bedoni, we said it was Bill's pick, but we said like, yeah, it was on our podcast, one of the dark horse, and he was super humble, took the picture, and we didn't know we were taking a picture with the absolutely dominant ADCC champ.
Yeah,
So
that was
incredible.
It was awesome. Now, as far as there's 12,000 people there, something like that.
Officially, that's what they say. Yeah.
Was it because this is what I was interested in. Typically, like you said, you go to these things and they're all people that train jiu-jitsu. Did you get the feeling that, I'm sure a large proportion were, but was there kind of more of the casual fan there too? Could you tell?
It was hard to say.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, you definitely see a lot of cauliflower ears, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would assume yes. Like some people definitely were who maybe their first ever jiu-jitsu event, but for the most part, like you could see when people who were sitting next to us, especially in the more like expensive section, that black section that we got, a lot of the people, they were true fans. And like if someone would score and something like that, you could hear them calling out 2, 3, stuff like that. So a lot of people, they knew
cool.
like what they were looking at.
Yeah, I was just looking at it just from, because I had to watch sick on my couch on Flow, but, Kenny Florian did a really good job of kind of, talking through everything. He did a really good job commenting, but just the shots I got, I was pretty amazed because this type of event really makes me feel like the future of jiu-jitsu for athletes actually making a living out of this. It's like that's kind of where this needs to go, and it seemed to be really successful for that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of those people maybe who were not necessarily into jiu-jitsu are the people who got invited, but they're jiu-jitsu friends. And this is an event that you definitely could invite them to. Because like I think even Joe Rogan brought one of his comedian friends who like is not really like a crazy jiu-jitsu fan, but he just likes martial arts. So and they ended up coming. So I think people like that definitely bring more exposure to the sport.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah, even my wife, she's like, you know what? I thought I would never do no-gi, but after this event, I want to do a little more no-gi.
Just kind of, yeah, that's really cool how that is, right?
Especially seeing also female competing and being like not boring matches, but actually pretty exciting also motivates them.
In person, what was the production value like there?
There were some hiccups, 100%. Like I think the biggest thing, and Mo Jassim already said that he'll address it, is the general admission piece, like no assigned seating. I mean, it's probably great if you want to gamble and buy like a $150 black section and end up sitting like in the middle on the fourth row and have like a almost $1,000 ticket value. But then it's just, there's a lot of hustle. You had to come early, get in the line, and then there's a lot of people who are like, one person brings 10 hoodies and just throws them onto the section. So there was thankfully no fights, no arguments over the seats, but you could see people were frustrated because they couldn't find a good seat in the section that they paid for. So,
or like maybe sitting with their friends that they all paid for.
Like the first day we were all separate. Second day we compromised on the location, but we ended up sitting more of us together. So
okay,
but yeah, there was some delays also. But overall, I think it was a great event. I think.
Okay, excellent. What was I guess what was your biggest, before we get into some of the matches, what did you as a spectator? Like you mentioned, your wife was like, "Oh wow, I really want to do some no-gi." Did you have any like takeaways like that, like inspirational, motivational type things?
I mean, there was just a lot going on. I think, just in general, being able to see this live is way different than on TV. Yeah, you maybe can get certain angles on TV, but like we were sitting pretty close in the day one, and when you see those like hyperextended arms or like ankle pops and all these things, it makes it more entertaining and then more gruesome and scary at the same time. So but definitely also like feeding of that energy of the mats, you want to jump in right there, just kind of like just go roll. It's just fun.
Very, very cool. A lot of vendors there too.
A lot of vendors.
Yeah.
Again, I think we did an amazing job with Bill and Olivia just coming in on Friday, probably one of the first people who got our bracelets and then went across all vendors without any line, just check them out. It's definitely, I expected maybe a little more vendors, but I think there was just not enough space in that pavilion to put more. So, but it was great to see everybody again, kind of like similar to Jiu-Jitsu Con and Master Worlds, a lot of vendors, a lot of merch.
Excellent. What about your, let's talk about some of your favorite matches. We'll just break it down by division. Because we could go all day on that, right? So some highlights for you in 66.
In 66?
Yeah, I know you have your brackets pulled up there.
66 disappointed me greatly because of the judges.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, I think Diego Pato is a champion. people's champion. But
So people, there's a little background to that. Listen to our previous episodes with, Nikita's his best friend. So,
I mean, there was a lot of cool matches. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't really see Patos Z-Lock closely in that quarterfinal, but watching replays, that was pretty amazing.
It was amazing to watch on.
And it was actually second to last match of the day, so people started leaving, and it was kind of sad because one of the things that ADC did this time, they did first round on all 3 mats consecutively, and then quarterfinals only on 2 mats, so it took a lot longer, and it almost ended up being an 8-hour day for us. So people started leaving even at 77 divisions, and I was like, I'm not going to leave until Pato goes. So, and he was like second to last. I was like, okay, we're going to stay. He submitted the guy. That was Cabrino Jr. No one around me said anything. And I was like, Pato! And I did a peace sign, and I sent Bill the video. You could see, like, at the very end, he's like, kind of like made an eye contact. So that was one of the highlights for sure. But in 66, it was, I would say, disappointing highlight seeing Gary Tonin the way he was. Maybe it's a weight cut, maybe something else, but it was definitely one of the biggest upsets in 66.
Yeah, he was one of my top picks for sure. So yeah.
And I think I was Bill's pick as well. But I told him I knew he's not going to go far in that. I don't know why. It's just he like transitioned to MMA and then such a
I see what you're saying.
Like I think it was inevitable because 66 is one of those super technical divisions where.
Speaking of that, do you guys think, and Bill, you can shout out too on this, when grapplers go to MMA, and obviously they're not focusing on grappling full time anymore because they can't, right? They have to kind of hit everything else too. Do you think that's compromising some of them? As far as their, because, I mean, at that level, we're talking about, like 1% performance differences, like just really, you have to be sharp, like razor sharp. I would think so. What's your opinion on that?
I think so too, because I don't know if you watched the Gary Tonin's last MMA fight.
I did.
He got knocked out being on a leg lock entry. So it's like, I wonder when he drills that for MMA purposes, maybe he thinks about a lot different inputs towards himself rather than would be from pure grappling match. Yeah,
because those instincts, they've got to, that's very interesting, I think. So, I mean, you can't take anything away from him. That guy's an incredible athlete. More props to him for doing, trying to divide his time like that. So it's a different deal. So
but I mean, everyone's time comes, so it's sad.
Yeah, for sure. Especially at that level. What I couldn't believe, if like we talked about, as Carrie and I were watching these matches, I'm like, this is just incredible. Just the amount of talent, one after another. It was just, for us, it was super entertaining. We sat on that futon sick for like 12 hours. I swear, it felt like it.
Honestly, at some point, I was like,
it was 10-10 on Sunday night.
I thought actually about you guys when I was sitting on that plastic chair. I was like, you know what? It doesn't sound that bad to be at home right now, just in front of TV.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to trade. It was pretty rough.
No, I get
it. The snot ratio was very high. It was pretty gross. But so what about moving? Let's go to the next weight class.
Actually, I would say one more thing here.
Oh, okay.
AJ, remember? AJ Agazam. So
what I heard, there was controversy afterwards. What happened?
He was fighting, and after the fight, it was 0-0 rev decision.
Yeah.
He thought he scored 2.
Right.
And he literally would not walk off the mat.
Oh.
Because he started screaming 2. And he wasn't like escorted off the mat, but pretty much people started coming in and be like, I thought like more people would get involved. But then, in maybe like 20 minutes later, he was almost storming the head judge's table, and like even cops went after him, and they ended up just escorting him off the arena.
All right,
he's not banned.
He was on Mo's live stream that night with Cade.
Okay.
And they were just joking around.
Well, there you go.
So Murillo got banned, and AJ didn't. Okay.
So Bill,
that's different than I.
Okay, yeah. When knives come out, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's different. But The one thing, and we'll touch when we go to minus 99 about judging Craig versus Kynan. What I was really upset in 66 is Souza was not really engaging Pato's guard in semifinals at all. He didn't get any penalty. And then in the third place match, when Cisneros was going against Pato, he was doing the same thing and he got a penalty.
Yep.
So I kind of like didn't like that inconsistency. But I guess maybe next time Pato just needs to be more aggressive. But then how can you be more aggressive from the guard if a person just walks side to side, doesn't do anything?
Right. Yeah. We definitely want to talk about that. The Craig Jones Kynan one.
But Baby Shark is a savage.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Now, what did you think about the Jimenez Baby Shark? Am I remembering it wrong? No, not Jimenez. No, I meant Fabrizio Andre.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it was close. Honestly, I thought watching live, I thought Fabrizio would take it. He just seemed to be more aggressive. I didn't rewatch that match.
Yeah.
But at that moment live, I thought that he'd take the
I
decision.
watched it again. Yeah, and I kind of felt the same way. That's why I was wondering. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, my old brain. I should have said Hokoge. Excuse me.
Yeah, but actually, here's the question then. What do you think, you and Bill, about... I understand Mo's intention of putting teammates in the second round, but at the same time, I'm thinking it's not necessarily fair. If they're not going to close out and they're going to fight to the death, and both of them ranked super close to each other, like 1 or 2, 3 and 4, like I don't think that should be the case.
You think they should have been in different brackets, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, because if they meet in the final, they meet in the final. It's
Right.
kind of not fair to the athletes, I think. Just
It's
because
because of how close they are. You feel like,
So you blame that on Drysdale and Bilbao. Fake match.
People are worried about fake matches. I think everyone was going for it. I couldn't see,
No, yeah, like
yeah.
we can.
Bill thought that Hanger and was it Ty weren't?
Barbosa, I think. Hanger and Barbosa.
Oh, Barbosa.
I don't know. I think after 15 minutes with Ty
Rutolo, I was going to say, dude.
you're gonna be dead,
Yeah.
especially if you're
I'm
40
not,
years
like,
old.
saying I think it was fake, but it looked kind of like a weak sauce match.
Yeah, Bill's saying the intensity wasn't there. You can't hear him off the mics here. But I would say, if you had to go with Rutolo for
15 minutes.
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, and I think if you do it under if you bring back just pure rankings, doesn't matter teammate, no teammate. If you say, you know what, if there's any indication it was a setup, fake match, closeout type of deal, just forever banned from ADCC. I think that can solve all the problems. Those athletes not going to risk it.
Yeah, because to your point, you had two competitors that were so close on skill level, and you might want to see them kind of go through their respective brackets first before. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
But I mean, it is what it is. I think
Both those guys are super impressive, though.
I think 66 has a great champion with Baby Shark.
Oh, for
So,
sure. Yeah,
and
don't take anything away from him.
2024 is going to be fire. That division is just a lot of young talent.
Well, if we talk about Andre when he went to do absolutes, I was super impressed with that. Sticking on with him. I mean,
he was going. Was he going against Cyborg? No,
Victor Hugo.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Dude.
There's pictures where you can see the size difference. That was just insane.
Yeah. So those guys are awesome.
I think if he went against Cyborg, he would beat him. Maybe.
Well, I don't know, dude. That's a huge side. I mean, what do you think about 77?
No, 77 was just banger from start to finish. My favorite match from there was probably the final match, Cade Rutola versus Mika Galvao, where, I mean, Cade was very competitive and it was a close match, but I still thought, because when Mika, he beat Dante Leon in semifinals kind of just closed by 2 points. I thought Mika would do something similar, take him down in overtime or score like just 2 points or 3 points, and then all of a sudden he goes on that leg lock and then gets countered by that heel hook, and the whole place just went nuts. It was pretty impressive.
That was awesome. That's an awesome match.
Sorry, just want to say.
Yeah.
Mika had never gotten submitted in a tournament, and that was the first time.
Wow. That just shows you the level. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're all out.
That match was truly the game of inches, because especially watching live, like I couldn't see exactly what happened, and it was just split seconds. Just like I was asking Bill, like, what happened?
Even when we were watching on Flow, it was so quick. I was like, all of a sudden they were getting up, and they had to go. Yeah, it was nasty though. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Bill saying he left his foot too deep, and Rutola he didn't even have to do any grips. He just jumped in that, and like he already had the full force.
By the way, kind of going back to 66, remember when you guys were talking about Pato's, that special technique he does, that kind of sideways pull on it? He was doing that as well. He was trying that as well the whole time during that. So like you said, that wasn't a fluke. That's a thing.
He pulls from 50-50
Yep.
over to that Z-lock position, but sometimes people defend it and he just rips on the side of it.
He does. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So that was cool. It's a thing he does. That's cool. What do you have any disappointments from 77?
I wouldn't say it was disappointment, because it was I always like upsets unless it happens to my favorite like athlete, right?
Yeah,
but like it just makes something exciting, because there's certain things you expect. Like I expected JD Torres to pretty much go through the entire bracket.
Me too.
Yeah, and maybe like meet Galvao or Rutola, and that would be like a crazy fight.
I picked him to win
Yeah.
And
as I said, it was quarterfinals. They were running 2 mats, and it was people started getting tired. They started leaving. So we were sitting very close to the mat where JT Torres went against PJ Barge. And I could even sometimes hear the corner of JT Torres coaching him. And it looked like they had a perfect plan, because literally he was going standing with PJ Barge, and then the coach started saying, okay, like points are soon. We need to look for a takedown. So he takes him down almost effortlessly, perfectly. And it was like 5:40.
yeah, I know.
So 40 seconds until the points, and then JT Torres would want to pass the guard, secure the points, and ride it out. Then all of a sudden, PJ Barge stands up, and their whole plan just goes out of the window. I don't know if JT Torres didn't expect that. He was tired, and then PJ takes him down straight into the side control, gets 4 points for that.
Right.
And it was insane.
Yeah. That was pretty shocking for me. I didn't think he would lose that one, but
Yeah, and
like you said, it makes it exciting.
makes it exciting. And
Yeah.
I think we talked about how PJ is one of the guys who always plays second or third, and he's the guy who was supposed to be in ADCC so many times, and he didn't disappoint 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Any other, Bill, do you have any other ones from 77?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
it was on the third mat, a little away from us. But when I watched replays, it was just like almost like MMA type of style, just like heel to the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
About Kate Rutola armbar and Lachlan Giles.
Right.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah.
And the place went also nuts. Even though the crowd was interesting. Kind of like most of the time they didn't have the favorite person. But then when the 2 favorite people, like Lachlan Giles got the biggest pop out of introductions, but then Kate Rutola is also one of the favorites. And then when he submitted Lachlan Giles, everyone went nuts as well. So it was just interesting to see.
Yep. Bill said the PJ Barch armbar.
Kate Rutola and PJ Barch, yes. That was an intense armbar as well. And it was it was very close to the end of the match. Yeah. It's like 30 seconds away almost. So Kate Rutola went through the entire bracket, submitting everyone, and became the youngest ADC champion.
Yeah.
We talked about Mika Galvao. We talked about Cole Abate. By the way, who got eliminated
I know.
by Hokage.
By
So,
Hokage, I know.
in 66. But then Kate Ruotolo was like, you guys forgot that I could be the youngest champ as well. And boom.
Who else did Kate submit?
He submitted Giles. He submitted Roberto Jimenez. He avenged his brother. He literally beat everyone who beat Tai. He submitted Jimenez, and Jimenez choked Tai Ruotolo. And then he submitted Mika Galvao, and Galvao beat Tai Ruotolo in WNO championship. So Ruotolo truly avenged his brother's losses.
That's awesome. So, like you said, when you're there live, I mean, there's something. I think you probably only get about 70% of it watching on Flow, right? There's that other piece when you're watching live. Less?
Oh, and the pops.
Oh, Bill says less than 70%.
Oh, like you mean when you watch
The
live, you
whole
get
experience.
more.
Yeah, you get more. Right.
When Saint Marie go into the females division, when she got that armbar, I forgot on who it was. It was in the quarterfinal.
Evie?
It was insane. Like
Elvira.
yeah, like my wife had to turn around right away. She's like, I'm out of the seats. Like I don't want to be here because it was literally in our direction, and you could see it almost.
It was
like,
hyperextended. It was
insane.
It was nasty.
Yeah, and but as I said, for me, it's just more. I was like, let's go. Let's just see because it's definitely interesting. You see the implication of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, much better.
Very, very cool. Anything else from that?
I'd say
class?
like at Dante Leon, I'm happy that the guy got the bronze medal. Like he deserved it 100%.
Oh yeah.
And definitely one of the guys who I didn't expect. Like he looked better than I expected, and he beat that Polish guy who was just heel hooked someone right in. Who submitted William Tackett in the first round. Yeah. So.
What straight? Yeah, they do work. Bill says straight ankle locks. They work. What weight class? Probably we're going to come to it. I'm mixing up the weight classes. The was he Irish guy? What was his name?
Oh, Johanna Flanagan.
Holy cow!
That's going to be the next division.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about 88 then.
88. There's I don't know if that person's going to watch this again, but he made a comment that we're sleeping on Johanna Flanagan.
Isn't it Owen?
Or I just call him Johan. I don't know why, but O'Flanagan. Let's just call him O'Flanagan. And we did sleep on the guy. We apologize. Yeah, so he was expected to be just a pure leg locker, but he was extremely good leg locker. But even besides that, he was able to stand with certain people. And just, like when he went against Shanchi, that was pretty impressive.
Well, yeah, Carrie and I were like, then she started really rooting for him because, no one was really talking about him. Yeah.
And,
huh?
Can you apologize to him?
To who? Why should I apologize?
Because you didn't consider him.
Bill says I didn't consider him. Neither did you.
I apologize.
Okay, Bill's apologizing to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll as a podcast, we're going to apologize to him.
yeah, because I remember when even we were reading the brackets, we just kind of read his name and European Trials winners. So
Very dismissive.
very dismissive. So he wasn't even on a dark horse list. He also submitted Mason Fowler, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Which is hilarious when you see a bunch of hobbyists on a podcast dismissing a European Trials member. That's hilarious.
yeah,
Well, Bill's not really. Yeah, he kind of is
Bill
a
is
hobbyist. He is a third place world champion.
so I
He
actually
still is on the podium, so
I was proposing in Vegas back then. I was proposing that you guys need to change your introductory speech to the podcast.
Mm.
Oh, no.
And like Chris is a licensed physician, blah 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 blah, and Bill Walker is a third place in Master Worlds 2022.
I'm all for it. Let's take mine
That's
off
just, like,
completely.
levels up the credentials,
Douchebaggery goes so high.
Yeah, Bill's like the douchebaggery. It's like, yeah, and we can we can have pictures of him without his shirt on with his medal.
Hey, it's okay. Next year, no, maybe not next year. Next year he's gonna beat everyone at a brown belt. Year after that, he's gonna beat Josh Hinger in the final.
Is that what you're saying? Boy, you were just talking so much crap for Bill, aren't you?
No, it's.
The biggest fan.
I'm a prophesying. You know, it's gonna be Master 3, black belt, Josh Hinger versus William Walker, Fowler Jr. It's gonna be submission right away, and
Okay.
we're gonna see his instructional on Jiu-Jitsu X.
Look,
Hanger was a dickhead about Andrew on their podcast, so we can be.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. So it's gonna be, and Mo will be in the corner of Bill screaming, and Andrew, and
See, I didn't know this.
yeah, and we're gonna look at Keenan and be like, "Your boy lost." So I'll leave it at that.
Well,
By
I
the way-
didn't know that the gauntlet was thrown down first.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
By the way, honorable mention: Keenan Cornelius is gonna be competing in Pen No Gi.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited about that.
Very, very cool. I guess we just got to talk some shit here today. Okay. That's all right. Okay, let's continue. 88.
Yeah, 88. O'Flanagan. I mean, Giancarlo Bodoni just stole the show.
Yeah, he did.
So, and his first match, he didn't submit the guy. The rest, he just submitted. He actually was going against the Flanagan in semifinals. His weakness was leg locks, and he went against leg locker, and he leg locker on a leg lock. Because
You mean he leg locked a leg locker?
yeah.
Okay.
When
Your
he tried
your
to
grammar's just a little
yeah,
messed
I
up.
mean, English is a
I
second
know.
language. But O'Flanagan went for a leg lock, and Bodoni countered him
Yeah.
with a leg lock.
Yeah.
So, and I was on the second day, we were closer to mat 3, and I didn't see much what was happening on mat 1. I saw that they were in leg entanglement, and all of a sudden they get up, and I was like, oh, Bodoni lost. And then he raises his hand, and I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, how did he leg lock O'Flanagan? Because, so, Aoki lock,
Yep.
as Bill said. So, and it was insane. And then when Bodoni choked out Lucas Barbosa, I think it was one of the top 10 loudest pops as well. It was just amazing.
Wow. You kind of like that, don't you? You like hearing joints pop? And,
No, I mean, he just choked him out.
no, I'm just saying, just in general.
No, the loudest pop, meaning in the building. Like, the
No,
crowd
but
was
you
like-
were very interested in the arm bars, and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that. I'm just making an observation.
I know you guys are going to talk about it, but I feel like one of the biggest one was when Hasim Rita beat
Yep.
Cyborg. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we're gonna
That
talk
was
about it.
crazy.
And I actually have, we can talk about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah,
get that
we're not
division,
there yet.
yeah. But it's I think that was the loudest pop.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's why I'm nobody to make any suggestion on how to run ADCC, but that's why I think if it was ran differently, that wouldn't be the case. But I can talk about it later.
Let's circle back to that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about in 88?
88. Remember how we talked about Mateusz Diniz
Mm-hmm.
being boring? I think this time he wasn't boring at all.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't think so.
His first match, he was aggressive, doing takedowns. He beat the guy, and then he had a good match with Bodoni,
Mm-hmm.
and then Bodoni just won. It was a little controversial in the beginning for me, but then as we rewatched, he just kind of snoozed on that, and that was his fault.
Mm.
If people didn't watch, they got out of bounds, and
Mhm.
Bodoni had a body lock on him, and Diniz kind of relaxed, and then when reset, he just took him down, and then ended up
Right.
triangling him. So
Yep. Yep. That's what I wanted to talk about. The Rotolo Mourinho match.
well, that was in absolute.
oh, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was in absolute. But Rutolo Hinger, that was actually my dream match, and I was like, Rutolo is gonna retire Josh Hinger, but I guess Bale is gonna retire Josh Hinger completely from.
You guys are.
But
Wait, I'm
I
just.
was, no, again, I like Josh Hinger. I'm just.
I do
saying,
too.
It's just a personal vendetta.
It's hilarious. I want to be on the side. I want to watch this.
Yeah, but I was really impressed, and I think Josh Hinger. That's where it's like the experience come into play.
Yeah.
Because he spoke about it. He was very emotional on his Instagram after win that he didn't want to fight his friend, but he pretty much said, I know I'm not going to outwork Ty, so just try to hold him for
Mhm.
12 minutes
Sure.
without stalling. without getting a penalty and then get the points. And he did that perfectly, and it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
But I was upset with Hinger because he beat Ruotolo and then he lost in the quarterfinal. I was like, at least make it to the semis. But he eliminated the most exciting guy besides Badoni at this point in the bracket and ended up losing. What? He robbed us of joy. Yeah, but I mean, J. Rodriguez, J-Rod, and Pedro Marina, that was a banger. Like, J-Rod is just, I don't know, he's crazy. He just made those shots and ate those guillotine for breakfast like no one else. It was impressive.
He's only been training like 2.5 years or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Him and his brother are insane.
I know. That freak athletes is amazing.
Maybe we should drink their blood.
Do they? See, when you say it with that accent, it's really disturbing.
Maybe that's
The only thing that would be worse if you were from like Romania.
The disappointment of 88. What was your disappointment of 88? Besides maybe Josh Hinger.
Wagner's sucking the energy.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wagner Horsha, Isaac Michel was
Oh my goodness.
amazing match.
Yeah.
I thought
One
it
of
was
the,
incredible.
Probably top 5, top 10 matches.
Yep.
But because of Isaac, not because of Wagner. So that's just my personal opinion. Because you see other matches that Wagner had. Wagner Pedro Marino was nice, but again, probably because of Pedro.
I got to say this, though. Wagner's one of my favorites. He's always smiling. They're booing me.
Oh, he got booed so bad.
Okay.
That's a fake smile, I think, also.
I don't know, man. I watch him, and it's not just ADCC. Every time I see him, Kerry likes him because he's a little dirty.
No, I mean, it's a good aggression. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, Pedro Marino is aggressive. All the Autos guys, as Bill said, very cagey. And
I don't know.
But the only good thing Wagner did is kick AJ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
He's definitely a little aggressive on that.
Um,
No, I kind of like his vibe a little
but
bit. I know a lot of
he
people
took
don't.
a third place, He didn't get leg locked by... The funny thing, again, you're probably not going to watch this, but I would ask him because if you guys remember watching him versus a Flanagan, I think they were talking a little bit, and he was pointing at that taped
He was.
foot.
Totally.
And I don't know if he asked him, like, hey, does it hurt? And then he just went on the toe hold on that thing, and Flanagan tapped quick.
Yep.
So I wonder if
That's
he
what I'm
actually-
talking
yeah.
about.
He just went
That's
first.
super
You know
entertaining
what?
for me.
And Flanagan, please take the note from one of the most elite and fierce competitors, Bill, who taped both of his ankles to deceive his opponent.
What was funny is that Kerry and I were just talking about that.
Yeah.
And Kerry goes, "Oh man, he effed up. He should have done a bill and taped them both."
Yep. Because
So
one
she
of the
brought that
guys
up.
just literally, when Bill was going again, it was the first match. Yeah. He just went for that ankle.
He picked the wrong one.
Picked the wrong one. So
50-50.
wasted his energy and everything. So yeah, but Flanagan should have done that.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah, we were talking about that during the match too. It's funny. Anything else there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think-
minus 99.
I think we're done on 88. Yeah, minus 99 was interesting. My dark horse didn't do that well.
Tell them the story.
Oh, so Bill posted a segment from our previous podcast, how Owen Livesey is a dark horse of our division, and I picked Kyle Bowen for various reasons. And Kyle replied, said, "A great pick, Nikita," on Instagram. And then the same day we went to that meet and greet thing, and we met him, and he remembered.
He did. He remembered.
Yeah,
his name.
and he said, "Great pick. You're not gonna be disappointed."
But he said your name. He was
He's
like,
Nikita. Yeah, and I was like, at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna even root against Craig Jones because if Kyle Boehm takes a medal, and if he wins, he probably will be like, everyone discounted me
Except for
except for Nikita, and he would be just screaming my name and pointing in the crowd.
Would he have Pato on his shoulders?
Yeah, it was just him and Pato would be like, man, Nikita is the best. But yeah, 99 was interesting division, and to me, Marigali is the most impressive performance, even though he didn't win, but he pretty much, I think Craig Jones would probably lose to Duarte, but anyway, but Marigali contributed to that because he just exhausted.
I completely agree. And Craig even said so. He even said so.
Who did Marigali go against where he was kind of going like this, like he felt like there was oil on them?
Who was that? Oh, you were Simoes. Was it the first match or their absolute final? Okay. But, so 99, it starts, and Marigali goes against, I forgot who that was. Let me see. Ciccone.
Yeah, okay.
They go in on the mat one right in front of us. And they start like hand fighting, and the guy takes his back and almost suplexes him on his head.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
And I was like, my heart started beating. Like I thought, that's it. Because day before I came to Marigali, and I pretty much made my dream come true. I came up to him and said, hey, by the way, don't take me the wrong way, but you're the most good looking man in jiu-jitsu.
He did.
And Marigali looked at me and was like, I know.
Oh,
And
no.
I just hugged him, And
Oh.
How long did you hug him? Was it like 6-7 seconds, right?
Did you rub his chest?
no comment.
I'll
I'll take the fifth.
You rub his chest.
I'll take the fifth.
He goes like this. You're the most beautiful man in jiu-jitsu. And he looks and he goes, I know. One of these.
There's no picture to confirm
Oh.
that. But
So, wait.
Yeah.
So, you've been caught sniping people from a distance with cameras. You're creepily rubbing chests.
Feeling him up.
I see a pattern develop.
no, I'm just sizing him up for Masters 4 final, far in advance.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. But at that time, when the Marigali got dropped on his head, I thought, this is it. Like, because he got his back taken, but then he just scrambled out of it and ended up taking down another guy and just Kimura. And the whole place exploded that moment as well.
Yeah, if I remember back when we were talking pre-event, I was saying that, he's been doing no gi for a little bit of time compared to world champion gi player, right? I thought, within a couple years, he's going to be dominating, but I think it's going to be sooner than that.
No, yeah,
this guy, Carrie and I were talking about the same thing, that he was, as far as performances goes, incredible.
I think next ADCC, if nothing bad happens to him, he's probably going to double gold, because when he beat Lovato before that, we thought, okay, he's definitely legit in no-gi, but Lovato is not a leg locker. Then he ate everything from Craig Jones in terms of leg locks.
Yep.
Defended super well. And he, again, beat Lovato, who, by the way, Lovato hasn't been scored on in this ADCC. When I looked it up, even by Kainan. Even Kainan didn't score on Lovato. And so that just shows that Marigali is actually, very solid. So it's going to be very exciting to see him in the future.
I agree, 100%.
Bill's Dark Horse didn't do that well in that division, but we talked about it. I think
My training partner.
Yeah, his training partner.
Owen.
Yeah, and when I saw how Owen did against Kainan, I said, Bill, Kainan is, you have his number.
Bill's going to be running around with such a target on him by these world-class grapplers. Good luck with that.
But being serious, we thought that Owen might be a little too light for this division.
Mm.
So because he did compete at 88 with Josh Hinger, right, this weekend. So, and also if you look at Kainan Duarte versus, let's say, Craig Jones, and how Owen did against Kainan Duarte. Owen wasn't that out of place. The first few minutes were very competitive, and yeah, so like I'm very curious to see how he would go against maybe other opponent. So yeah, he just got his black belt in jiu-jitsu, but like super good at judo, and he was sending people flying at that Henderson Academy. Like it was really interesting to watch, like live. Definitely, he's huge, even though I kind of towered over him a little bit in the picture, but just because I'm fat.
By the way, Carrie and I said there was a ref there that looked like you if you gained like 30 or 40 pounds. You know which ref I'm talking about? I did. I messaged him. I said that looks like a fat Nikita.
My identity should not be revealed because I was supposed to go and referee seminar.
Negatives to
Yeah. Dang it. Speaking of that, what do you think about it?
About since we're talking about this weight class, the finals, you mean? I thought that was ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie. I was excited in the moment. In the moment, with the crowd.
I got it, but
yeah, I think it's not fair. 100%
no,
it's not
that was absurd. I mean, come on. I mean, what did he stack up? Like 8 negatives or something? I think 7 or something.
Oh, was it? It was 8.
You know, and even I heard Craig just recently talk about that too, and he's like, I would have. He goes, I wouldn't even want the gold medal if that's the way I won, right?
Yeah,
and I agree with that. I mean, I like, you know, if someone's truly being passive, right? But some of them were just, their trigger was quick on that. Yeah, a couple. Bill is saying maybe a couple negatives, but not 8. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, at some point it was
almost like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to put Craig into the, you know what I mean?
I think it was -7 for Kainan, and then on board it was 6-0. So it was -1, 0, and Craig was taking the medal at some point.
I know, right? And we were like, what the hell? So
it was intense.
Yeah, so I didn't like that at all.
That's next division.
Yeah, that's the plus.
Yeah, but from this one, who else? I mean, Craig Jones armbar would be the fastest submission of this ADCC, if not for Gordon Ryan. Yeah. He always second. Yeah, I mean, that's Geaton on collarbone was pretty good as well. So, and the way he explained the strategy was actually pretty cool.
It was cool.
I'd say Elder Cruz was, he's the only one who scored on Kainan in this bracket. So he scored the 2, and he also did good against Cyborg in Absolute? Yeah. So I think Elder Cruz, he's still a brown belt. I think he's going to be very dangerous next ADCC.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kainan's a beast, though, man. I mean, just it's a lot to handle. We need to see him and Gordon Ryan. That's what I think too. I really do.
Yes, but then Team Spriggs heel hooked Kainan. So I just don't know. Like, I think Gordon can heel hook.
I'm not saying he can't, but I still would like to see it.
I mean, Craig Jones even said that that's probably the only, on paper, semi-competitive match against Gordon Ryan at the moment. No offense to anyone else, but next ADC Absolute final, Super Fight, does not look that exciting on paper.
Well, they know it's coming now, right? So he's got, but then so does Gordon. So plus 99, man.
So, and here's my little spiel about ADCC organizing tournament. No, and I think I'll do everything possible to be at 2024 because it was the best event.
Yeah, Mo put in his bid, and he said the 2 places he would pick would be either Vegas again or Texas. So
I think these are great options.
Like what, Austin?
I don't know. He didn't say. He just said Texas.
Could be Dallas. Maybe Dallas has maybe more arenas for that.
Yeah.
And better airport hub than Austin. Austin infrastructure would probably not handle 15,000 people coming in.
But he said he'll know in just a couple weeks, I think.
Bill and I, we talked about it a little bit, how I think the event was a little too jam-packed together. How, like, the energy was not the same throughout. Even though, like, was Heisem Ritas against Cyborg an exciting submission? Yes. But did it deserve the loudest pop? Maybe not. And I think it's just because visually, in my estimate, in the beginning of ADCC, like when the event just started, there was more people than for the super fight.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people were actually driving in just for the weekend from Arizona,
Right.
like nearby states, so they needed to go back on Sunday night. So a lot of people who were sitting next to me even left before the super fight. So I think the anticipation of that event, and then that first, like, it was sixth match of the night, and such a submission and the upset, and place erupted, went nuts. But that energy was not sustained throughout the event.
What do you think about that second day? I thought that the Hall of Fame should have been done in the evening on the first day, maybe.
It should have been
After the brackets,
Yeah.
right? Because I think that just really just slowed. Although super important, don't get me wrong. Oh, he already said that he was going to do that.
So yeah, there's a lot of things I think that could have been changed. They should run quarterfinals probably on 3 mats because the first day was too long. And I think Seth Daniels, he put it out. But maybe even they could have done, if they do like 3-day event, they could do first round in the first day, second round and semis in the second, and then bronze and finals and absolute bracket in the third.
Yeah, the problem with then people are you're trying to get people to carve out another day. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people would go. But
And then that also could give athletes maybe a little more time to rest before finals. Because again, yeah,
I mean, that's so true. I mean, or Craig Jones may have felt recovered enough if you had that third day, maybe, right? Because
so yeah, again, there might be no perfect way to run this tournament the way it is. It's just like a little things, but definitely the energy was dying out, not because it wasn't exciting. It's because people are just getting tired. Like
you get fatigued. Yeah, for sure.
But Hall of Fame, we used it.
Oh, yeah, to do a
Yeah,
taco
we didn't attend the Hall of Fame. We went to a taco place to get some nourishment before finals. And we were late. And I mean, Bill would tell that story better than me because I didn't pay attention. I was driving. Ended up running a red light. And
We turned on Flow Grappling just to listen to the music to know we weren't missing it.
for the record, Brian and I, we hate that music. And that was the only time we loved it because we know that the matches hasn't started yet.
You know what's funny? Me as a musician, I couldn't stand it. And I told Carrie, she goes, how many times are you going to complain about this music? I'm like, it's every time they put it on.
Yeah.
I was like, you hear that drum sound? It's terrible.
I mean, yeah, the whole thing, the whole tune is just annoying. But at that moment, that was the music to my ears because I knew we're still on time.
Okay.
Because the first final of that day would be Nick Rodriguez and Gordon Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you didn't kill any pedestrians
No.
that you know of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We did get flipped off by a lady. That was fun.
Yeah. That's her problem, though. She was too slow. No, she was going under speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and no in Vegas considered to be what? Would you consider Nevada South or no?
No, it's west.
West?
You mean south, like the south?
No, not like Alabama South.
Okay.
But you know, like how people
It's
in
southwest.
People in the South, any country, even Russia or Europe, you go to Spain, Portugal, like everywhere in the South, people drive horribly. Like don't obey any traffic laws, nothing. So Vegas kind of the same way.
You haven't been to the East Coast, my friend, of the United States, then I guess.
No, I mean I haven't driven in East Coast.
It's yeah. So you might take that back. Now there's a difference. There's a different level of stupidity, I think, going on. But as far as just aggressive drivers,
I mean, if it's a big city, it doesn't matter.
yeah, the
where it is.
Northeast is rough, man, with that.
But
Anyway, so
Biggest takeaway.
yeah, biggest takeaway from 99 per plus 99.
I guess the biggest takeaway is that you may not go far enough, but you still are top 5 highlights of the competition. Haitham Rida. I mean, I think like again, if you look at out of context, there's nothing too special that happened, but it was just like the moment, the atmosphere, the anticipation, the upset. It was just absolutely insane.
Well, it's funny. Kerry's been a Haitham Rida fan since Quintet, right? When he was, several years ago. And every time he's competing, like that's one of her favorites. So that was like huge for her. She's like, oh, yes.
And the whole place popped. Cyborg's trying to shoot on him. Haitham reverses, takes the arm.
Oh my God.
And it was just bananas.
Yeah.
It felt like, I'd say it felt like somewhere in Europe for like soccer. It was just like,
That's super cool.
Super nice. It is the loudest like that arena have been.
Well, and I think the reason why is there are a lot of people who don't like Cyborg because of the stuff that happened at his gym.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were rooting against him, like a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was very palpable that everyone was very excited that he lost.
And honestly, like also maybe that's a suggestion to ADC organizers if they hear it. Mat number 1, 2, and 3, and mat number 3. That's the mat that had kind of like the closest surrounding of the people. That's where the whole thing happened with Haitham and Cyborg. So it was just everyone was into it. The same way when Tyra Tola beat Pena. Like everyone was in there. So if they put maybe most exciting matches, like where the biggest crowd is, I think that would be better. Or maybe even
it'd just be a guess though, right? Because
it is a guess in a way. But
yeah.
So, I mean, Gordon Ryan dominated everyone. That was insane. I was impressed with Nick Rodriguez passing Pena's guard. I think that's the biggest.
That body lock pass is, I mean, you're kind of in trouble if he gets that on you.
Question.
Yeah.
How much of that is technique of a body lock pass versus Nicky Rod being super athletic, crazy hip dexterity?
Well, jacked? You can't separate this two. His technique is great on that. That hip dexterity, the way he flips it over to basically leg pummel. It's incredible, and it's explosiveness, his physical attributes, but you put that with that technique, man, and it's just
because it became a great advertising for his new instructional, right, Roddy Lock. Well, my question is, would you pay $200 for that?
So, also, it's one of those things where someone has this. Jiu-jitsu is cool, and everyone can do different techniques, but there are body types that are more, I guess more useful for certain techniques over others. If you're really super long and rangy versus right. So I don't know if just because I'm going to get a video from him doesn't mean I'm going to be able to. I'm sure it would help, but you're not going to have the same results. People gravitate to certain things because of success with them, and there's various reasons for that success. So I don't know. I wouldn't pay $200 for an instructional anyway. Plus, I'm on the VIP list there. I get a lifelong. I'm PJJ Fanatics. I think I put someone through college there. I don't know. Someone did.
But I mean, I guess my question is like how complex the passing system like body lock can be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
To have like the entire instructional,
like a systematically, one of those. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a ton of nuance there. I would just I'm ignorant to it.
That's a genuine question that I have, because I remember Nicky Rod posted on Instagram that, hey, like this is how I did it, and there was some like not necessarily argument, but some people were just questioning in the comments, and someone said, "I'm not gonna pay for this instructional because I'm also not jacked." And Nicky Rod responded, said, "Well, maybe you need to get an instructional from me on how to get that."
That's great comeback.
Like, this is good.
That's great.
This is good. So.
Yeah, there's always going to be a hater out there,
And I don't think even the guy was hating. He was just saying kind of like the same type of curiosity.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I mean, that'd be something to kind of look into. I mean, it looks pretty cool. 10, so we're...
Okay. The final, I guess.
Yeah.
The Gordon Ryan versus Nick Rodriguez. not surprised necessarily. I was maybe surprised how easy
What-
it was.
What I'm surprised at, and I think Craig brought this up too, is usually the athleticism of Nicky Rod. He can kind of rip those legs out of there. And you've seen him do it in previous. If you watch some of the old Who's Number Ones from the last couple years, he's been able to, when he wants to get his leg out, he aggressively does that, and it looks like Gordon had it trapped really well.
And I mean, even Galvao said after the super fight that Gordon is super strong. Like his isometric strength.
His isometric, it's got to be off the charts, right?
So once he gets the hold of that.
And just the plug for the kind of the workout program that we're trying to develop, it's very heavy in isometric loading, right? Because of that. I think in general, kind of off topic, if someone wants to train strength for jiu-jitsu, focusing on isometrics is a really good idea. Different positional isometrics. So anyway,
I think maybe in general, people who are older, like myself, like past 30s.
You have just jumped. You're a little guppy that just jumped in with a shark. Go ahead. Keep talking, please.
Like, you know how Gordon Ryan, he said that he'll be in his prime, like physical prime, maybe like in late 30s.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So my point is like, maybe it's even like for people like me and maybe who's not super flexible and super athletic, developing the game focused on isometric strength, it would be the most beneficial.
Yeah. Because
you can be like 40 plus and still sort of 50 super.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard
strong.
time. Absolutely. They call that old man strength for a reason. Your tendon density, all kinds of different things. And just in general, isometrics is a great way to train without injuring yourself too. So absolutely, I think everyone should be doing. What's that? We lose speed before strength. Yeah. What Bill's saying is as you age, we lose explosiveness, but especially strength and isometric strength is doesn't fall off as quick, especially if you train it. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the females,
we
and while we do that, that passing on Victor Hugo straight to the mount. I'm gonna. People need to watch it. Yeah, like if you haven't watched it, just find that the way Gordon Ryan passed straight to the mount of Victor Hugo was just impossible. It was flawless. Female minus 60 division.
So Carrie called right when we started watching it. She didn't think because Bia's in that one.
Bia and
She didn't think that Bia was going to take it. She kind of called that from the beginning, and I was kind of agreeing with her. I was definitely, we call Fionn Davies. And by the way, if they stop calling her Davis, that's just irritating. It's like an American thing. It's like, can you just pronounce the name correctly?
The craziest thing that they did at ADCC, they put Finnish flag when she was walking out 2 or 3 times. I was like, what are you doing?
Well, I know. It's like she's from Wales. She's not. They even said from Finland, and I'm like,
Lenny said that. Lenny messed up,
dude.
She probably got the.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought there were some really good ones on that.
No, I think Fionn and Saint Marie was incredible.
Absolutely.
And Fionn, I'm having it here on the screen, and when I looked at it, Fionn went 26-0, just throw all matches. Like pure domination, like
super,
unquestionable.
Very impressive.
That throw on Mosquito was.
Oh my God! Exactly. That was cool. Yep. But I'll critique this, and we'll keep moving on with the female division. But I really think there are enough females out there, good females, that we can have more than two weight classes.
And I think. It was deserved to Maisa Bastos, because if there was like 55 or 50, she would take it.
Totally. Yeah. Carrie and I were talking about that quite a bit. She's like, why are there only 2? Right. So.
I think
Mo brought it up.
Yeah, that it looks like they're going to split the 60 division up. They're going to do a 55 and up.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
55 and up to like 70 or
That would be
Okay.
Bill's saying that they've already talking about splitting up
Mhm.
those weight classes, which I think would be great because it'd give a lot more opportunity.
No, yeah, that would be fair because you could see Mosquito and Bastos, the size difference was
Yep.
pretty significant.
Well, then you go, if you're above 60, you're in trouble.
Oh, that's
If I mean, you look at Elizabeth Clay, super good, was outsized significantly, especially by like people
Amy
like Gabby and
but I was not mad that Amy Campo won because she
Nope.
went against Gabby Garcia.
yep, and she got her.
I think that was top 3 pops when she
Oh, yeah.
took her down that arm drag on a concrete go for arm bar.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that was just
So I agree with you. That was incredible. She did awesome on that.
and I think we were pretty close where Kendall Rusing injured
Mhm.
herself in the semifinals. With all thought that it was a concussion or something,
Mm.
but it was ended up what was it?
It was a triple tear, ACL, LCL,
Yep.
MCL, and a tibial fracture.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a freak of injury.
Oh.
So, but Amy Campo took that division, beat Rafaela Guedes, who was my pick.
Mhm.
But at that moment, I wasn't mad. When she took her back,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, she's taking it. Everyone was again on their
Mhm.
feet. And that's the last division we cover. So I think since we're in the United States of America, it's worth saying that for the first time ever, there's only 2 Brazilian champions. I mean, 3 if you count. Yeah, we should count. Absolute, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But 5 or 6 with Gordon Ryan. No, or 5.
But this is what needs to happen with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It spreads worldwide. We're getting high levels from all over the world, and that's what needs to happen.
So yeah, I think 5 Americans, and then Gordon Ryan took 2. So yeah, 4, and then 1 European
Mhm.
Davies. So Brazil is outnumbered for the first time
Mhm.
in ADCC medals. I mean gold medals.
But that's just going to be a natural. I mean, you can't take any away from the Brazilians for
No,
refining this art.
It's not that. It's just more about how
Yeah.
it becomes
Well,
less one-sided.
That was going to be my point. As this expands and where we want jiu-jitsu to go, it's going to be a natural progression of these things. People are just going to get really good.
And that's what Gordon Ryan said on Joe Rogan Experience. So
Yeah.
he almost like looked into the water by saying that.
Yeah, a lot of the silver medalists. Yeah, exactly.
And Mary Galley technically is non-Brazilian in no gi. Just saying.
Okay.
Have you washed your hand?
No,
Rubbing his
no,
chest?
yeah, no. I'm letting all the fun guy go
Bill,
there. and
Bill,
everything.
Bill asked if Nikita's washed his hand after touching his chest there, and
I didn't say chest.
Everyone else did.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, man. That creeper card you're playing pretty heavy. So awesome, man. I really wish I would have been there with you guys. Because it's not just about. Yeah, I watched every single on Flow, but just being there in the atmosphere, that's what disappointed me the most, not being able to go. But
And it's also we're so blessed to be in the stage of the sport where it grows, but it's still in the form where all those people, they're still micro celebrities. They're not mainstream. So
right.
like we literally walked in the arena and you could see like all of them just walking next to you and
Yeah.
Enzo, yeah.
Yeah, you were bringing up how
One of my favorites.
these people are still accessible.
Yeah,
But as
yes,
popularity
that's the good-
grows,
Well,
they're going to become less.
You know what though? But if you keep hanging around him, he's going to develop a reputation
This is true.
that you might not. They might have like restraining orders, things like that. So just be aware of who you hang out with, Olivia.
But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Yeah, I can't really carry this like Bill with all the insult and stuff. I'm doing the best I can. So
It's okay.
Okay, I appreciate it. Anything else? Any parting words on this?
I think if you consider yourself a fan of grappling or jiu-jitsu, you should come for ADC 2024.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to come unless, I mean, obviously there's many things that can happen, but my point is, if you're able, you should.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's just going to help. And I'm really looking forward to them putting on more events too that are not just the championships.
ADCC's Opens would be a big thing. And I'm super excited.
So I'm just watching this all grow. It's going to be super cool. So we'll go ahead and kind of finish this one up. We're going to get Bill out of his self-imposed exile. I don't know what's going on there, but maybe he had leprosy. I'm not sure. Some skin problems. Bill actually it helps me try to do more over here. So I'm doing the best I can. So please send questions. We're trying to alternate between our jiu-jitsu oriented ones and some of our preventive medicine health stuff. So whatever questions you want to send, please send grapplingwith at gmail.com? Grappling with pod. See, I don't even know that. Grapplingwithpodcast at gmail.com or Instagram. And we will get to your questions. Otherwise, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for
your expertise.
having me again.
All right. Yeah.